Alright, so, as always, I love talking about these myriad of fanfiction ideas that never were, or shall be. Or if there possibly could happen, you never know. But I just always love talking about these fanfiction ideas that have rattling around in my brain, rather than just stay in my head and, constantly chip away at my sanity, until the point I have a mental breakdown. I'm sure no one wants that. Anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about an idea I had for a Steven Universe Justice League of America idea. And, it kind of fits. The DC universe, you could see Steven and the gang in the DC universe. A lot of the stuff, like made-up cities and these really big space battles and cosmic fun, it does feel like there does feel like some DC elements to it, even though, yeah, it's mostly anime-inspired. There is a lot, you could see Steven Universe in the DC universe, really. So the idea I kind of had, the working idea I had for this Steven Universe Justice League crossover is a story where in the crossover it starts in the Gem War, over 5,000 years ago. What is going on is, of course, it's the height of the Gem Wars, and what's going on is that someone's spectating the whole thing. That person is Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage is, in fact, spectating the whole fight. And this is early Vandal Savage. After the exposure to the meteorite. And in that, he has discovered, he's found out, he's watching the Gem War take place, and he really wants the power the Homeworld Gems, as well as the Gem Rebellion have. But he's staying out of the war. He doesn't want them to find, because he's afraid if he, somehow tries to steal some of their weapons and whatnot, he'll realize, oh shit, they'll find me out, and then they'll probably pick me apart or something. I don't have the resources right now to fight the Gem War, so rather than get, turned into a lab experiment by these creatures, I'm gonna wait to see what happens. And, yeah, the Gem War ends, and Vandal has been secretly amassing, basically, he has been amassing a lot of gem weapons that have been left behind. He's even, taken some interest in he even knows where the kindergartens are, both the Prime and Beta kindergartens, and he did consider using them, but then he was like, they're kind of broke-ass, so, and they're broke beyond repair, so I can't do anything with them. Until he discovers an ancient gem weapon. Now, this weapon was so powerful that even the Diamonds were like, I don't know if we want to use that one right out the gate. I mean, we don't like Earth, but let's create the cluster instead. So this new weapon but instead of being sent back, Rose actually stole the weapon and hid it on Earth. And this weapon was a planet-killing weapon. And Rose hid it, and Vandal has finally discovered, the location of the weapon, because it's now been separated in 3 pieces. Rose cut it into pieces, Rose disassembled it and has hid it across the world, across the landscapes. And the only reason the Justice League have discovered this is because when a archaeological team funded by Wayne Industries gets mysteriously attacked, the Justice League investigates with Batman. Batman asked the Justice League to look into what happened to these people because I funded them, and one of them was a colleague. It was a close friend of mine. So we need to look into this. So of course it's an ancient weapon built on destroying everything, and the gems. The Justice League kind of put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, this thing actually. There was a gem war that happened. And we never realized it. So, of course, Steven Universe and the Gems team up. Now, for the lineup, it's always kind of been shifting in my head of, like, what Justice League characters should be in the lineup. Because, of course, you gotta have the Trinity in there. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, that's just a given. You always gotta have the Trinity in there. But yeah, I've always kind of had it, like, who else would be on this team? I've always, like, another mainstay character I had in this lineup was Martian Manhunter. Because I always dug John Jones. And I feel like interactions between him and Peridot would be awesome, because in a weird way, Peridot is becoming slowly like a more fun version of Jean. She's now learning about how to, love the Earth, as a second home, and if not a new home, very much like Jean Jones. Plus, it would be super adorable to watch Jean introduce Oreo cookies to her. Now you can't get that image out of your head of Jean and Perry eating eating Oreo cookies together. Yeah. But that's kind of the... I've always had it, like, even at one point, Lex Luthor, but then I was like, that's New 52, but in DC Rebirth, he's part of the team, so... I don't know. It's always been and... Yeah, I guess for other character interactions, I'd like to have Guy Gardner and Amethyst hang out. The odd ones out, the rebels, the people who that you think shouldn't be heroes and feel like they got their powers by mistake. Well, Amethyst always had that she was born a mistake in her head, and Guy sometimes feels like I was a lantern by mistake. So yeah, Guy Gardner and Amethyst hanging out. Like I said, the roster was always changing in my head, and that's as far as I went for the story. Also, I can't really take full credit for the story itself because the person who gave me a loose idea for the using Vandal Savage as the main villain of the story was Jason Voorhees 2011. He shot me the idea, and I was like, man, that sounds really cool. And I've been kind of working around ideas of how to do that. So, it's not totally out of the question that I won't do this story, but again, it's like, it's not like it's always the problem with these big team rosters is like, who the hell do you put on this? It's like I said, the only 4 I really had for the Justice League team that were solidified were Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter, and I did have some cool character interaction ideas for Connie being a big fan of Wonder Woman, like she's a giant Wonder Woman fangirl, Batman and Pearl discussing battle tactics, stuff like that. And even, like I said, with if I put them on the lineup, Guy Gardner and Amethyst hanging out. But yeah. So you guys tell me, what do you guys think of this idea? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Who knows? Maybe I'll do this in the future. It's not totally out of the question. It's just kind of, like I said, a loose idea I had. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.